Your parents are finally home. How are they? What was that moment like?
Man, I'm a little emotional. It was a beautiful moment. I mean, my family, I don't think it really hit me until they were both home. And I got to see my mom and dad hug each other and embrace each other. We were all hugging each other and crying. And it was just a beautiful moment and answered prayers for sure. I mean, I can't even describe it, like the amount of joy that I felt.
Your dad hasn't been in contact with your mom at all?
No, the only contact that they had was through emails, which the BOP would delay for weeks on end. So maybe my dad would send her an email one day and she wouldn't get it for 2 or 3 weeks. So it was impossible to have a conversation, but they weren't allowed to talk on the phone, nothing.
Do you remember the moment when they saw each other?
Oh yeah, last night.
Yeah, what happened when they saw each other? What was the first reaction?
They both just burst into tears. And my dad wrapped his arms around my mom, and I don't think he's let go. And I don't think he'll ever let go.
How are your parents, how do they look different after prison? How do they look different physically?
I mean, my mother's an angel. And she's still a beautiful woman. Her hair's darker now, I think. I'm like, Mama, we gotta go back platinum blonde. And she was like, I'm not doing that. And my dad is just jacked.
What do you mean?
Like he hit the gym hard.
Oh, really? So he was working out every day in prison?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Is that something that will continue now that he's home?
For sure, and unfortunately, I think he's gonna make me do it with him.
Aren't you ready to work out with him and get jacked too?
I hate the gym.
Come on.
But I will do it, yeah.
But I'm sure there are people calling right now.
Oh yes.
And I'm sure they're making some very lucrative offers.
Yes.
And I'm sure it would help your family get back up on its feet too.
For sure, but my dad's a very smart businessman, so I'm not worried about the money.
Okay. All right. I know that you came in today with a camera following you for your show. Were they following you when your parents came home, and will we ever get a chance to see that moment?
Maybe. Maybe. It's just you know how television works. Like,
Sure.
My parents were inside when we started filming and negotiating, so there's no deal in place for my parents as of right now.
Will there be anything shot while they were in prison? Did you have a chance to visit them at all?
We were not allowed cameras in there. We have phone calls whenever they call us, but that's it.
Will we see some of that because of like the hardship on the younger kids and the other things going on?
The phone
with
calls?
That? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you guys will see it. And it's just been raw reality and truth of like the struggles that we've been going through as a family, as individuals, and how to navigate that while still staying together and holding our family together. Thankfully now, we've got my mom and dad back, so it feels like a 1,000-pound weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
Will they be involved in this project?
I don't think so.
Really?
No.
Do you think they'll ever go back to reality television?
I mean, it's too early to tell. I mean, my mom and dad, we'll have to have a family conversation about that.
How do you think this entire thing has changed the way people perceive your family and their name?
I mean, you have the haters that will believe any headline that's out there, but at the end of the day, everybody's got an opinion, and quite frankly, I don't care about anybody's opinion. I know who I am, I know where I stand with God, I know where I stand with my family, so I'm good with that. But as far as to answer your question, I think people are very quick to cast judgment and throw stones while living in a glass house and not know the full story.
And when you say that full story, when will we learn the full story?
Maybe soon. Maybe on camera, maybe not.
As part of what you're filming now?
You'll definitely hear more of the full story on that. But from my mom and dad's perspective, I don't know when that. I'm sure it won't be long.
The president, how did you find out that the president was giving your family this pardon?
I was actually working. That's when I got the call, and I was like, I gotta go. And I was in tears, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it.
If you look back at this trial and the things that your family was convicted of, fraud.
Not anymore.
Okay, hold on. That they were once convicted of, right? And now they have been pardoned. $30 million in fraud. And there was a lot of evidence that said your parents knew what was going on.
But there wasn't any evidence. It was Mark Braddock's word saying that, oh, Todd knew. And if Todd knew, Julie knew. That was the only hard evidence. But Mark Braddock was also found guilty of perjury and said in the courtroom when in his cross-examination, why did you lie on the stand? He said, sometimes I just lie to lie.
What about the paperwork that was created that they had allegedly signed off on?
Well, if you go back and you look at it, there's no physical signature. It's a stamp. And Mark went into the accounting department, and this was days after my mother had been diagnosed with breast cancer. My dad had actually completely stepped out of the office to take care of my mom. And Mark took his signature stamp, impersonated my dad, and got those loans.
Where'd that money go?
We didn't get it.
You did not get
We didn't get any of that money.
Well, then where do you think that money went?
To the government's witness.
Mark Braddock.
Mark Braddock.
If you didn't get any of that money, what about also the tax evasion stuff then too? Because they're saying that, they didn't pay their taxes for 5-6 years.
Well, the taxes were for 1 year specifically. And when we went into trial, and whenever we were indicted, all of our taxes were paid.
2 years were paid. There were still 3 that were owed. But I will say this is important to clear this up, because these are the questions that people are going to ask, and these are the things that people want to know. And your parents now, they get back that money they were paying in restitution, correct?
Yes.
What does that mean to your family?
My dad and I had a conversation last night, and it's just not about the money anymore, And I can't speak for him because that's his story to tell, but I can speak for myself. And being on TV for as long as I had, I let money own me instead of me owning the money. And unfortunately, it took my parents going away for me to truly figure out who I was as a man and what I believed in, and really pick up the pieces and put my life back together. And and getting sober. I don't think that I would have done that had they not went away, because I always had my family as a crutch to lean on, And it forced me to grow up. It humbled me. It made me more compassionate, more understanding, and those are the positives that I have taken out of this entire journey that we've been on.